guys. Court is back in session. Welcome to another exciting episode of The Devil's Due. I am your host, Carl Duty. With me, as always, is a man who doesn't look as nearly disturbing clean-shaven as Mario does. Mr. Drew Celestino.
It's haunting. It's haunting.
I shall forever rue the day you sent me that picture.
Clean-shaven Mario?
Oh, jeez.
Well,
it's weird
he's
because
not
it's
just
like,
clean-shaven. He's hairless. They
yeah.
took his eyebrows off and his hair.
Yeah, it's like...
It's horrifying.
I'm not disturbed by the whole baby Mario thing, but that picture just...
Unnerving. Have you ever seen photorealistic Mario?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah. That's still not as unnerving as...
Okay.
Standard Mario. Oh, jeez. Just think about it.
You got creeped out all over again.
Get past it, Carl. Work past it. Okay, opening statement. Sir, here we are again. How was your week?
Oh, fun. Mostly. Yeah, mostly fun.
Good.
Yeah. Big ticket items. Friday, we went to the Ring of Honor New Japan Pro Wrestling World of Worlds show in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And it was a good time.
Our lovely neighbors to the north.
Yeah, man. Card was, a little weird. This is one of the softer efforts that NJPW has put forward in a while. And I say that, and it sounds weird. It's like, we did get all of LIJ. So Naito, Evil and Sonata, Bushi, and, of course, Hiromu Takahashi and Daryl Jr. So that alone is pretty good. And we also got... God, I'm forgetting. Well, the Young Bucks, obviously, but they're also ROH, so, whatever. Cody, but he's also ROH, so, whatever. Hangman Page, he's also kind of ROH, so whatever. So it was a little light on the pure NJPW talent. At least I thought so anyway. But still a very fun show. The Young Bucks had match of the night against the Super Smash Brothers, who are a kind of old school, I don't want to say old school, but they had a moment in the early 2000s as being, a team to be reckoned with. And they had a great match with the Young Bucks. So it was excellent. Probably the highlight of the evening.
Do they come out dressed as Nintendo characters?
Not exactly, although there is Player Uno and then his partner. It used to be Player Uno, Player Dos, but I think Player Dos changed his name at some point, so I don't even know their names now, but one of them was still Player Uno.
Okay.
But great match. Jushin Liger was there as well, always. The guy is undying. He's 50-something years old, and he's still the man.
Yep. And
I've seen Jushin Liger 3 or 4 times in the last 3 years, which if you would have said that to me 5 years ago, I'd been like, you're lying. That's impossible. That can't be. He's old. He must be retired by now. No. He's not retired, and he gets around. So good on Jushin Liger. But, in years past, they'd send out Nakamura. They'd send out Tanahashi. They had the big names out back in the day. Will Ospreay last time I was there. And, this time, LIJ, hey, dude, LIJ is awesome. But, that's kind of all they sent. So maybe they had other commitments, or maybe the guys are resting up. Kenny didn't come this time.
Was this one of the shows where you didn't know the card when you purchased the tickets?
Nope, no clue.
Had you known the card, would you have purchased the tickets?
Yes. Okay. Especially, let me think. When I bought those tickets, did I know that my time as a childless person would be... Yes. So I knew the clock was ticking, so I bought the tickets.
Okay.
Life is short. Buy the tickets. So yeah, that was a good time on Friday. Our good friend Mr. Alan Waiters nearly didn't make it.
Yeah, what was this thing about a hot dog?
He apparently consumed some tainted hot dog goods from the Ted Reeve Arena.
Okay.
And proceeded to gurgle vomit on in the van on the way home. Fortunately into a bag. But the sounds, Carl. The sounds haunt.
That's not cool.
I won't be able to unhear those sounds. So
sorry, Alan.
Alan's okay.
I don't mean to laugh at your suffering, but
We can laugh now, but in the moment it was kind of scary. So he's okay. Alan's still with us in Alan form. So
he'll fly. He's pilot.
Yes, Alan's okay. But yeah, that was cool. Saturday, I spent most of the day constructing a wall down in my basement. We are moving along on the project Cobra Island Studios 2.5, whatever we're calling this.
No, remember, we had this discussion.
Did we?
3.
It is 3.
If you're reconfiguring the room we're in now to be legit, like more straight up studio, that would be Cobra Island Studios 2.5.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, this
it's a
is
whole
Cobra
new room.
Island Studios 2.
Yes. No, it's a whole new thing down there.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3.0 then. Yes. Got one wall up and worked out some logistics with the pops on how to do the rest. So I've got a plethora of lumber downstairs, and I'll be doing some of that this week in my evenings, and probably most of Saturday as well, because I'm on the clock here, and I have to get these things done.
Yes.
So sorry to everyone who wants to do things with me on Saturdays for a while. I'm kind of in a bind. Not a bind, but there are pressing matters.
Booked.
I'm kind of booked. Unlike Flip Gordon, I'm booked. I don't know. The cool kids will get that one. Speaking of Flip Gordon, well, hang on before we get to Flip Gordon. Saturday evening.
Can't get to Flip Gordon until you explain to me what Flip Gordon is.
And all will be revealed momentarily. But you know what Flip Gordon is not?
What?
Booked.
Okay.
So Saturday evening, we christened our new little fire pit.
Yes.
Here's the thing. When you have an iron fire pit, iron, steel, whatever it's made of, you really can't put that on grass. Not safe.
God, no.
Not safe.
No.
So we did it in the driveway. Now, that's fine, because patio, concrete, that's all good stuff. The problem with that, unfortunately, is my driveway is kind of narrow, and my neighbor has 2 trees that kind of jut over that fence. There were no incidents, but it was a learning. Learning lesson. Like, okay.
Like, how close are the branches to like?
Oh, they're not like imminently hanging over my driveway or anything, but they're close enough where embers could drift up into the air and potentially.
I mean, not so much this time of year because there's still so much moisture. On everything,
so I got to figure out a little solution to this problem. I might build a little enclosure out there.
No. All you gotta do. I mean, the enclosures are cool. That's definitely like could be a down the road project. Those are always fun. But in the meantime, just like quick cheap fix. Go to like Home Depot or Lowe's, get 8 bricks and a couple of pieces of square plywood, and just put the plywood on top of the bricks, so it's lifting it up off the ground a bit, and then put the fire pit on the plywood.
Fire pit on wood.
You can either, there's 1 of 2 ways to do it. You either throw some water on there, and that'll kind of extend the life of it.
Sure.
Or it just like, it's not going to catch on blazing fire. We can do it at our house.
Okay.
Like the heat will eventually wear down the wood and it'll just kind of start to disintegrate. But that's like after X number of fires. That's not going to happen in the night of.
Okay.
And it's like a 2x4 piece
nothing
of plywood.
big.
It's going to cost you what? $5?
I was thinking about just putting it on some bricks, some big patio stones that I have, some pavers.
You can do that, but then the heat's still going to dry out the grass very quickly and could ignite it.
Good point. All right, I'll see what I can do here. I'll figure something out.
Then you have a cool ring of fire a la Johnny Cash moving out from the fire pit until it hits moisture in the grass again. Then it just dissipates very quickly. But nice thing about it is grass is very resilient and grows back very quickly.
It does. It certainly does. In the 3 months that we can grow grass in this godforsaken town. Anyway, so that was my Saturday evening. It was pretty cool. Had some my friend Colin came over, Jason came over, and had some beers, spun some records later on in the evening. Just a cool time. Huey, by the way, likes to get dangerously close to the fire pit, and you've seen Huey.
Yep.
He's a cotton ball.
Yep.
I was getting very frustrated trying to keep him away because it won't take much to ignite him. Ready to kill him.
Look like Johnny Blaze running around the back.
God. I mean, I know he's a pain, but I don't wish ill will upon him.
No.
Especially in,
least not until the baby comes and he wakes the baby
Well,
up. Parking then.
That's a whole different animal. We'll get to that when that time comes. So anyway, Saturday. Sunday, Mother's Day, right?
Yep.
So we had brunch over here. Jen's mom came over. Her sister-in-law came over. My mother has bronchitis. She stayed home. You can keep your bronchitis over there. We don't need that over here.
Especially with pregnant wife, John.
Exactly. So, little brunch. Went to see Jen's grandmother. Went to Wegmans, got some groceries and the whatnot for the week, and got myself situated for meal prepping. And then Sunday bore some really cool news. Not for me, but for stuff I'm into.
Okay.
So you are aware, this is where Flip Gordon comes back around again in a minute. You do recall, maybe not, our friends Cody and the Young Bucks are booking an independent show in Chicago called All In.
Yes.
We've discussed this, of course. All In is September 1st in Chicago. I cannot go. I have imminent dad duties to attend to, so I will hold this over my child for the rest of his life. So they did a press conference on Sunday. Or was it Saturday? Doesn't matter. Tickets went on sale Sunday is the important thing here. Tickets went on sale Sunday for All In. 10,000 seats. That's the big landmark that no company outside of WWE has done in the United States for a wrestling show in probably 30 years. Since WCW was even in existence. No independent show has done it in 30 years. WCW used to do it on the regular, but WCW has been dead since 2001.
10,000 seats?
10,000 seats.
That doesn't sound like a lot.
For wrestling, it is a benchmark number that no company outside of WWE has hit since 2001.
Okay.
In the United States.
Okay.
Okay. So that was if you want to air quote, the bet that it could be done. So this has been the big gambit that they have been gunning towards, booking talent. They got a lot of names for it. So they sold it out, Carl. They did it in 30 minutes.
Where is this happening?
Chicago. The Sears Center in Chicago. They pulled it off. The gambit has paid off. Nice. And they sold 10,000 tickets to an independent wrestling show. It's incredible. It's pretty awesome. And they've got Kenny Omega. They've got Okada, Cody, the Bucks. Rey Mysterio will be there. Just like the who's who of independent wrestling in North America will be there. Plus Okada, like the champion. The god himself, the Rainmaker, will be at this event. That's very cool of NJPW to say, we're going to give you Okada for this show. Like, we believe in you guys. Here's the champ. Huge.
Is there, Rey Mysterio aside, because he seems to be like kind of a floater nowadays.
Does what he wants.
Is there anyone from Lucha?
Pentagon Jr. will be there.
Nice.
And Rey Fenix will be there as well.
Nice.
Yes. I could probably get you a full list. You can probably find a full list.
Waiting for that third season to come on Netflix.
Good news, by the way. Season 4 starts June. In June. The trailer. My God, the trailer. Oh, my God.
I can't watch trailer because I haven't seen any season 3.
Oh, my God. I can't wait for Lucha Underground Season 4. Anyway, All In. They got all these names, but Flip Gordon still not booked. It's an ongoing thing on Being the Elite that Flip Gordon he wants to be booked for All In, but Cody refuses to book Flip Gordon.
Okay.
You got to watch Being the Elite to understand.
Okay.
That's all I can really say.
Okay.
He's not booked. He's not going to be there.
Okay.
Everyone else will be there except him.
Drew, this is my stop caring 15 seconds ago face.
Okay. Book Flip is all I'm saying. I hate him. He's a flat earther. Correction. His character is a flat earther. He is not. He had to clarify that in some interviews recently because he was eating a lot of harsh reality on Twitter. So, good wrestler. That's all I'm going to say. He does a lot of flips. Flip Gordon. See?
Okay.
Not just a clever name.
Okay.
Alrighty then. So that really sums up the week, as it were.
Cool.
Yeah. What's up?
My week, not nearly as eventful. Saturday,
Well, I'm jet setting now while I can, so
Yeah, well, yeah, no.
Before the show grinds to a halt of both of us just going like, "How was your week?" Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Look forward to that in September, folks.
No,
so look into the future.
We'll still have stuff. Friday was the quarterly big game night at my church, so I went there. It's fun.
Did you introduce them to new games, or was it more just kind of a free-for-all?
I introduced them to some new games that I had played before. Played Azul, played Photosynthesis, got some Lucha wrestling dice in. So yeah, it's a good time. Got to play a little X-Wing with friend of the show, Adam.
How'd you do?
Oh, Adam is out of practice, so
okay.
It was not.
It's a confidence booster for you.
Sure. I don't. Adam was getting a little frustrated, and I don't have fun if it's like a tournament and the opponent's getting frustrated. Okay, fine, that's how it goes. But like if it's just a casual match, if you're not having fun, I'm not having fun. It was funny because like we used to play each other a lot, and in this one game we played Friday night, there were moments of he remembered why he loves X-Wing and why he hates X-Wing at the same time. So it was pretty cool. It was a good time. Saturday, Julie had a hair appointment. She got a haircut, new haircut. Looks really great. And so I was running around with the boy, doing some errands and whatnot. Went and picked up my comics. Trying to think what else. Saturday. I want to say something else happened Saturday, but I can't remember.
Okay.
Anyway, Sunday again was Mother's Day, so we went to my mother's. We went to Julie's mother's, stopped off, dropped off presents, spent some time. And then just kind of spent the day with Julie, like doing whatever she wanted, going wherever she wanted, things like that. So it was a good day. And then, Monday, Tuesday, fine, normal.
All right,
normal days.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, my weeks are kind of boring, but not boring in a bad way.
Well, I'm looking forward to all that, and by looking forward to it, I mean I am not looking forward to it at all.
Sometimes, this is going to sound weird. Sometimes it's a relief to be too tired to really do anything.
If I got things done,
sometimes it's a relief that your body is kind of forcing you to stop.
It's not my nature, but okay.
Like you had told us about the fire on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I wanted to come out, baby not allowing.
Gotcha.
So.
That's fair. That's fair.
So, dear listener, if you would like to tell us about your week or send us any questions, you can do so at the following locations. You can find us on Twitter at DevilsDoPod. You can go to Facebook.com/DevilsDoPod. You can email us at TheDevilsDoPod@gmail.com, or you can find all these resources available to you on our website, TheDevilsDoPodcast.com. Drew, that being said, opening statements are done. Time to get some cross-examination. Our first question this week comes from old show standby, Mr. J. Gelsomino.
He's back.
He is back. So, Jay starts out this week. Carl and Drew, you have the choice of one of these doctor jobs in the Marvel Universe. What would you choose? This sounds familiar. I think he's asked us this before or something along the lines of this.
Go on.
Legion's psychologist. The Thing's dermatologist.
This sounds familiar.
See, yeah, the when I saw, the Blob's cardiologist.
Oh God help him.
She-Hulk's OBGYN.
Not creepy.
Or Man-Thing's urologist.
These all sound like hopeless positions, honestly.
Yeah.
What was the first one?
Legion's psychologist.
That sounds the least like bodily problematic, so I'll go with that one.
I'll go with the Thing's dermatologist only because like
I mean, you realize it's kind of a hopeless gig, right? Like, Doc, I got dry skin. You're like,
yeah. Here's some water.
Good luck with that.
Yep. Here's my bill.
Well, that's true. You could probably pay.
Maximum payment for minimum work.
True. If I were Legion psychologist, I'd probably put some work in to try and help him out. Or, then again, I could just, heap all the blame on Professor X. Like, your dad's a jerk. It's all your dad's fault.
Your dad's a jerk.
And that'll just be our session over and over again.
Yeah.
But Daddy probably pays the bills. Professor X probably has money. He must, right?
Yeah. He's got a.
I mean,
you don't
got
have
a mansion
like
and a danger
Westchester.
room and a jet. Yeah, he's got. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Pay up,
bank.
Pay up, Professor.
But don't forget to go back in time and accidentally kill him, because Age of Apocalypse was pretty awesome.
Was it though?
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Okay. That was the point. That was my first.
I enjoyed it because it wasn't permanent. It's just like, hey, we're just telling this cool story.
That's kind of around the era when I checked out for a little while. When I saw that coming down the pike, I was like, I'm going to go away for a while. Then I came back later.
Yeah.
It was for the best.
Drew.
Hey.
Remember long... sigh. You win, Carl. Drew, would you rather eat Ted Reeves' arena hot dog or literally anything else ever?
I will have anything else. Thank you.
All right.
I've seen what those hot dogs can do to a man. I'm all good.
Seen and heard.
Oh, the sound.
Thinking of it now, aren't you?
I am, actually. I might. It's going to be like Stand By Me in a second. It's just going to be a barfarama up in here.
Yeah. Carl, you've got Tim Curry in Rocky Horror Picture Show, Peter Weller in RoboCop, and Joe Pesci in Lethal Weapon 3. And they have, you guessed it, a shark problem on Amity Island post Jaws: The Revenge. How does this play out? I've never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Okay.
So I'm going to say... I just see like Joe Pesci's character. I just see Leo Getz kind of like fumbling RoboCop's gun into the water.
Yeah.
And RoboCop just like stern looking at him.
Okay.
And then, I mean, RoboCop maybe just needs to fall on the shark and sink and drown the shark. I know it sounds weird, but if he can pin him down on the bomb, if sharks stop moving, they die.
Yeah, could do that. He's also got that spike. He could just start punching him in the throat.
Oh yeah, the data spike.
Yeah, throat punch.
The most deadly flash drive ever.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing that technology evolved past the data spike in real life.
Yeah,
thumb drives pretty safe. Data spike, I've seen what that can do to a man.
Yeah.
They'll tear out his jugular pretty quick.
Yep. Either that or just like Robo just unloads a couple clips in the shark and that's it.
Didn't they effectively show that Jaws didn't really care about gunfire in those movies?
Well, okay, yeah, they did, but you've got a single shot rifle from World War II
versus the Auto 9
versus RoboCop's hand cannon.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's assuming that Joe Pesci doesn't fumble it into the water.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair.
So, all right. Drew. Jay,
yeah.
Thank you very much for your questions.
Oh, you're welcome.
We have a follow-up question from last week from Mr. Brendan Budnick.
All right.
Our young listener. It's just for you.
Oh, no. Steering the youth wrong.
Drew.
Hey.
How long has it been since you and Jay went to Long Beach?
Oh, look at that. Backdoored it in there.
I have
phrasing.
While you're looking that up, I have a quandary here, Drew.
Do you know?
Do I just put a stop to this right now and say no one else can ask this question, or do I just let everyone else but Jay ask the question?
I just work here, man. You do what you want to do.
I don't know. We'll kind of see how this plays out. I mean, Jay's under the same restrictions. If he sends in the question again or any form of the question, he's grounded from the show. I don't know about other listeners, though. We'll have to take a look as you're looking that up.
49 days.
49 days.
And every day, my heart gets a little smaller as we get away. I'm not going to lie, dude. That show spoiled the crap out of us. Like I'm turning my nose up at this ROH NJPW show, even though it was perfectly fine. But compared to what I've seen things, Carl. I have seen some things, and it's hard to go back.
Yeah,
it's hard to go back when you've seen I've seen the top of the mountain. It was glorious. Now I'm back down here looking up. It's a good view. It's just not the great view that I had. Anyway,
it's okay.
49 days ago.
Can't always be at the top of the mountain, Drew. If you're always at the top of the mountain, you lose appreciation for the view.
Oh, I don't know. I'm appreciating it right now. I will say this. Great view, but there is another summit to reach.
Yes.
Tokyo Dome. I will find a way. I will go to the dome.
All right.
Me and Jay.
Cool.
Someday. It's going to happen. Book it.
Alrighty, that brings to a close the cross-examination portion. Now we get to open up the case files and get into the news. And, some news stories you just don't want to talk about. We have to start.
Well, you got to do the good and the bad here, buddy.
We're going to start on a sad note. Yesterday, as this recording being Tuesday, yesterday we lost Margot Kidder, most famous, of course, for her role as Lois Lane in the 70s Superman film with Christopher Reeve. She had a very storied career, Amityville Horror, but she was best known for Superman. This one kind of... I'm not going to rank deaths, but this one is kind of a gut punch in the way that Carrie Fisher kind of was, because that's like it's like an integral part of the childhood and she went like Carrie. She went way too young. I know there's probably stuff going to come out about the circumstances of her passing, but again, like Carrie Fisher, I don't care. She's gone, and it's tough because we're living in a fantastic time. We commonly refer to it as the golden age of geek. We've got things that we're seeing on the screen that we could never dreamed of seeing at one point in our lives. We've just seen an Infinity Gauntlet movie. We have seen, for better or worse, we've seen a Justice League movie, and we've seen, things, there's a lot of great stuff going on, and one can really argue that it all started with the original Superman movie. I've said before, I know you don't feel the same way, and that's fine. But for me, the original Superman movie is still the best comic film ever. And her, as much as Christopher Reeve's performance of Superman was defining for that character and how we would envision that character for the years to come, Margot Kidder's performance of Lois Lane was just as defining. And it's so much of it is like, when you think about the time that film came out in, like, that performance today would be showing as like a strong female character, but that performance back then, I mean, yeah, there were some moments, this is not a perfect movie, but yeah, there were some moments where she was a damsel in distress, but even in those moments, her performance was still completely believable. And for me, it all comes back to the helicopter crash scene. That scene is perfect. That is an absolutely perfect scene from start to finish. The action, the way it worked, the music, just is all the reasons why I not only read comics, but watch comic book films. A lot of reason why we're doing this show. And to lose her really, really sucks.
I second all of that. Yeah, I guess it's just a super bummer that the two leads of that film are now gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sucks. But
yeah, and you look at like her interpretation of Lois has been more clinging to from different interpretations of the character, not only in live action but in animation and in comics ever since then, more than Reeves' interpretation of Superman. And, you know, if you look at like Superman the animated series, Lois in the series voiced by Dana Delaney, if you look at how the character performs and how the character is written, it's pretty much Margot Kidder's Lois Lane. So a lot of the live action Lois Lanes, it's kind of like an even split for me. I think, ironically enough, the television Lois Lanes got it closer to the mark than the film Lois Lanes have. I think Terry Hatcher and Lois and Clark did a good Lois Lane. Erica Durance in Smallville, for what Smallville was, did a fantastic Lois Lane. But in the films, like, you know, Kate Bosworth kind of missed the mark in Superman Returns.
Couldn't tell you a thing about her.
Amy Adams seems a little...
She's tacked on because Zack Snyder doesn't care about her.
Yeah, she has moments, but still not quite hitting that mark.
No, they all lack the strength that Margot Kidder had. Margot Kidder commanded as much of the scene as Chris Reeve did.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best way you could say it. She was a strong character in her own right in those films, and that's a high bar to achieve. So others have kind of had to try to live up to that. And I think you're right. The TV ones definitely seem to have carried that torch forward more than the movie ones have up till now. So
yeah. So that's unfortunate.
'Tis.
Moving on to lighter fare. Drew, was announced yesterday. We've discussed the forthcoming DC streaming service on the show before.
Yeah.
And it was announced yesterday, another show that's going to be on the service. They're getting a live action Doom Patrol.
Now, I'm the target market for something like that.
Well, you are and you might not be, because we don't know if it's going to be Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol.
They promised it would be weird, so that tells me that they have to embrace some of the Morrisonian vibes. So, and the Gerard Way vibes in the current run, which unfortunately Gerard Way said is coming to a close soon-ish, which is a bummer because he's done a great job with it. But anyway, yeah, I'm listening to you with your Doom Patrol announcement. My question is, how much are they going to commit to making it completely bonkers? Because Doom Patrol is very weird.
I mean, at first when we hear DC streaming service, you're like, okay, that's like you said, and I agree with you, it's extremely niche. It's niche within niche.
Well, we've talked about this online. I don't think I brought it up on the show. You're announcing a Doom Patrol series. Great. But my immediate thought is, what's it going to look like? I mean, how much money is going into this? And that gets to a bigger point on the DC service, is like, you know, yes, they've got Warner Brothers money, so who cares? But the thing is, this isn't a Warner Brothers streaming service. It's not like this isn't the whole Warner Brothers back catalog. This is a DC streaming service. To me, that's really strange, because that's a very niche audience.
It is.
And yes, they have all the animated movies and content they can put on it, and they have, like, you know, probably all the Batman movies and Superman and, you know, all that stuff. Sure. Yeah, sure. But that's
even
still
going back further, they probably have like Batman 66, the old George Reeves Superman.
I wonder what the rights would be there. But yeah, maybe. But even that is like, this is niche stuff. I mean, yes, we all love it now, and we're in the golden age, but who's going to plunk down? Who's opening up how many people, rather, are opening up their wallet and saying, I need that every month. Here's my money.
Yeah.
Give me more. That's all I'm asking. Like, I don't know what CBS numbers did for their streaming service. I have no idea. We can probably look it up. I don't know. But, like, they have all their CBS network programming from however long they've been in existence. to bank on. And again, that's CBS, big company, lots of media. This is a DC thing. It's like this little group thing. I don't know how many subs they're hoping to get, but you can't do these live action shows that they're announcing on the cheap, because if you're going to turn people off right away if the first glimpses we get look terrible. Like we saw was it Titans? Those Titan stills with Starfire and Beast Boy and all that. People saw those stills and were like, "What the hell is this?"
See, now, I didn't get that because those stills were not production stills. They were like on set, no visual effects being added in.
But it was a first impression that scared people.
And that's fine. First impressions can do that. I'm kind of coming around on this service only because I like where they're going with the content they've announced. Only because they're not kind of steering into their obviously big money makers. You would think a service like this, they would announce like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and they're not. It's like Titans. They're doing Young Justice, which already has a crazy fan base that's already there and ready to go. So they're going to be signing up day one. They're like Swamp Thing, Doom Patrol. They're
digging into the catalog.
Yeah, they're doing, stuff you wouldn't expect from this. And we also have to remember, like, this isn't Warner Brothers, even though yes, they've got that Warner Brothers money, but this isn't like the movie department doing this. This is like the television and animation department, who have an exemplary track record. So I mean, I think your points and your concerns are valid. The one point that I raise is, like, I don't think they're trying for like Disney Netflix numbers. I think they're trying to be somewhere like in between that and the WWE Network.
Well, that's a hell of a swing then, because WWE Network has 1 million subscribers. That sometimes more, sometimes less, but that's the number. That is the number. They've tried to grow that. It ain't growing. This is it. Netflix has tens of millions of subscribers. That's a big swing. That's a big gap to fill.
I know.
And even with that 1 million number, how much have they said what the service is going to cost? Have they announced the pricing for it?
They have not announced pricing yet.
Well, for this niche product, if it's anything more than $10 a month, they're insane. And even at $10 a month, these shows are not cheap to produce. So you got to pay writers, you got to pay actors, crew, directors, producers, all these people, effects people, to make it convincing. So, I mean, if Warner Brothers is just going to throw a bunch of money at this and say, hey, go, let's see what we can do, whatever. Fine. Hey, go nuts. And hopefully it's awesome. But I see this, I'm seeing these announcements about these shows, and it's like, okay, cool, but what's it going to look like? Because what are your expectations here? Because if you only have, let's call it 1 million subscribers, it's not that many. It's not that much money once you start getting into the investment costs of all this original content. You're going to have to start cutting corners somewhere, and that's probably going to be with talent, effects, etc. And then I get worried because it's probably not going to be the best stuff out there.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I don't necessarily think it will play out that way. I don't think these things are necessarily getting made on the cheap. I think with things like this, like there's no big name talent announced for like, the screen portrayal of these characters. So that's one place where they save whatnot. Here's what I think they kind of got going for it. First, like you mentioned earlier, library. And I don't think we should discount that, because there's a lot of stuff that can be in there. Not only that, like you've got, the Bruce Timm Paul Dini shows that you can put on there.
Yeah.
And all the shows that have come since then, before then. So they have a good size library to kind of put in there. Obviously, that's not going to sell a lot of day one subscriptions, because there's a lot of other places you can get that stuff, unless they kind of restrict streaming wise where you can get it.
Right.
I think their animated films just kind of still do them, but if they want to draw attention to the service, you make them service exclusive.
They're going to have to. A lot of them are on Netflix right now.
Physical releases,
that's
that's revenue you can reallocate. You don't have to spend the money to produce the physical copy. That's revenue you can reallocate to the service. What else was I going to say? So yeah, and also I think one thing, if they could do it, would be a big draw for the service. The CW shows, if you could do something where like the new episodes air on the service like 1 week early or something like that, that's a big fan base you can tap into as well.
Sure.
Yeah, again, I don't think they're aiming to be Disney or Netflix. I just think they're putting together a really cool service. And price dependent, I'm, like you said, that $10 is kind of the roof. Anything over that, I'm probably not going to sign up. But right now, if it's like less than $10, I would probably sign up for it. And I'm sure we're going to see a lot. I mean, they're not going to not show any footage of these shows before the service launches.
Oh no, we'll get glimpses, I'm sure. But
so
I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah,
I got concerns. There's a lot of numbers popped up on my mind when I saw this.
It's funny because like I almost feel that if it was just going to be the brand, DC would be more successful at something like this than Marvel. Because Marvel doesn't have the back catalog to go on. Like, yeah, you can put the movies on there.
Yeah.
And that's great. What else are you going to put on there?
Yeah. Well, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah, we get, the 2 seasons of that.
X-Men, the animated series.
And then the have you watched the old episodes of X-Men?
No, but people love it. I know it hasn't aged well at all.
Once you get past the intro and you actually start watching, you're like,
yeah,
this is painful to watch.
I know, especially since Batman was on at the same time.
Yeah, oh my god,
quality is so fast.
It's so
there's a chasm between them.
It's a night, Night, and day. So yeah, it's
Spider-Man animated series. People have affinity for that one.
That's worse to watch than X-Men.
Oh, never mind. Take it back.
Once again, great intro song. Once you actually get into
the content,
the animation quality is actually worse than the X-Men, because like the X-Men has good art, but the animation isn't great.
Yeah,
Spider-Man has bad art and not great animation.
They could put that old Fantastic Four show with Herbie the Robot on it.
Sure.
The one everyone hates.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that one.
Could put some of those newer Fantastic Four shows on there.
Have any of them been good?
There was one that was decent.
Okay.
It had a great theme song.
All right. Was that the Call the Four? Fantastic Four?
Yeah.
That one? I know that one.
This is a great theme song.
It's good. It's all right. It's all right.
I mean, that show had Daredevil and Ghost Rider in it. So.
I missed those episodes. We should go back into those at some point. Well, okay. Good luck, DC. Hey, Swamp Thing, Doom Patrol. I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm very
Titans.
You're gonna have to show me. You're gonna have to show.
Yeah.
But okay, I want to be impressed. That's content that's got my name on it.
We're getting a live action Titan show with a legitimate Robin that, from the production stills looks great.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. I think it's going to be cool. And Harley Quinn animated series, that's going to, as much as we are not current incarnation of Harley Quinn fans, that's going to draw subscribers.
Okay.
Slap Harley Quinn on it. That gets you. All right, Drew. So let's swing from one end of DC spectrum, hopeful and optimistic, to the other.
Okay.
We know it's garbage. But it's a really slow news week, so we're kind of discuss this. It was announced earlier that Gotham will be returning for a 5th and final season.
How did this not end sooner?
I know. You know how it ended sooner?
People watched it. That's why. Stop it, all you. Stop that.
People who don't read comics watched it.
Oh, man.
And they've said that Batman will appear on the show. That they're going to put the kid in the suit.
They're not putting the kid in the suit. I'm gonna say it right now. They're not putting the kid in the suit. Do you know why?
Why?
The same reason they're not calling that whatever. I keep tabs on the big generalities. I have no idea what happens week to week, but I see headlines and articles and stuff. And okay, let me see what that is. The same reason why they've been I almost broke the family friendly rule here. The same reason why they've been dragging out, that's a better term for it, this whole Joker thing on that show for the last 5 years, but they won't commit to it.
Yeah.
You know why? Do you want to know the real reason why?
Enlighten me.
The movie division won't allow Batman, the Joker, Superman on television. They got Superman for like that one episode of Supergirl. Remember that when they had that guy with the weird suit?
Been on for a couple times.
All right.
He was good.
You're lucky to get that. And the only reason you got that is because Superman ain't Batman. They have this whole like, you can't play with our toys thing going on over there.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So don't count on Batman proper showing up on that show. Maybe a cameo, maybe in the last shot of the last episode, you might get the profile. And maybe if they're feeling real charitable, and I mean like real charitable, you'll get the Danny Elfman swell
face shot,
maybe, and they'll give you the Danny Elfman score for a second, and then credits, and then see you later.
That was the biggest jip of the ending of Smallville
when he does the shirt tear, and then
does
that's
the shirt, and then that's it.
Yep,
like
that's what I mean.
He earned the right to be in the suit.
And you got to wear the shirt for all of 3 seconds.
And he was a good Superman, too.
So anyway, 5th and final season.
Yeah.
Well, let's see how they screw this up.
It's so crazy to look, because, like, you know, the CW shows are just amazing. I've said before, I'll say it again. DC is doing on television what Marvel is doing in theaters. We can't use characters XYZ? Okay, fine. Here's King Shark. And guess what? You're going to love them.
Okay.
And I don't get why they can't.
Because they're ashamed of the material. So that's why they try to change everything in the movies to make it a certain way. And the TV guys just kind of go like, well, let's just steer into the weird.
You guys do you.
Yeah.
We're going to do us. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. That seems to be the way it goes. I don't get it, but hey, whatever.
I mean, again, going back to whole things we never thought we'd see. We got Jay Garrick, Flash.
Yeah.
And it's John Wesley Shipp.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. I don't even watch that show, but I still think that's like the most inspired bit of casting ever.
Yeah.
So will Jim Gordon finally get a mustache in that show by the end of this? I mean, that was the first warning flag, I think, when they first announced this show. Like, oh, Gotham's going to be a show. Here's a picture of Jim Gordon. And it's this like clean-cut guy. I was just like, yeah, what are we doing here? No stash? No Gordon. I'm done.
You know what's funny is like because again, I had to watch, I think it's the first or second season.
Isn't his character like
2?
wildly out of like everyone else on that show?
He started out really good.
Okay.
Originally, the things that worked on the show were Gotham City. Even though they filmed in New York, they made it look like not New York.
Okay.
Gotham City, Jim Gordon, Harvey Bullock, and the Penguin.
That all sounds good.
But then over time, like, as I'm watching episodes, I'm like, why is Gordon doing the Batman voice? Why is he doing like the gruff, "Brr, yeah, brr.
Wow.
We got to clean up this city."
Oh, boy.
Like, yeah, no thanks.
And Will Smith's wife is running around, and
yeah,
what's going on here? What are we doing? Didn't Poison Ivy age like 10 years over the course of a summer or something like that?
I think, but that's like long after I stopped watching it.
I think that's a thing that happened.
It's funny because, like I've said this to you in the past, the one thing they always seem to get right, like dead right, is the look of the villains. Mr. Freeze, Mad Hatter, Ra's al Ghul.
I still want my fat guy Penguin, but whatever.
So he lost weight. It's not
or he puts it on later in life.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's what we did. Yeah.
I will say, like, the whole Joker thing is terrible. But the one thing I do like about their Joker, again, physical appearance, they gave him the classic hat.
I like the hat.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know what's going on over there. 5 seasons? It's 5 seasons too many. All right, 4 seasons too many.
Yeah.
You could have that one. The one that convinced everyone that the show was just terrible. Y'all should have checked out.
Like I said, late news week, so we got
okay. We talked about Gotham. Yay!
Okay, so last news story, extremely show relevant. It was just reported some set photos from Daredevil Season 3 have leaked showing Matt in the classic black suit from Season 1.
Classic black?
It's classic.
Is it? It's the Season 1 black. It's the non-suit suit.
I'm thinking the black suit overall, like from the Season 1 and from the comics. Classic-ish.
All right. Classic to me is the red, but whatever. It's okay. I know what you mean.
Classic is the yellow and brown.
Well, I don't know how classic it is. I know it's the first one, but I wouldn't call it a classic. Anyway, yeah, the black outfit with the bandana face and all that business.
And we were talking about this before we start recording. We have a couple theories. One, flashback.
Could be a flashback easily, but thematically it could also be, Matt, in the comics anyway, if they're basing this on the Born Again storyline, in that storyline, Daredevil's life is completely torn apart. Yeah. And he has to rebuild from basically square one. His entire identity, his entire practice, everything. He has to start from the bottom, literally.
Yeah.
So this could be that in the show form. The suit might be lost somewhere or he can't get to it, so they might be filming some stuff where he has to go old school. So we'll see. But that's interesting.
It feels like it's been a long time.
It really
since
does.
Daredevil Season 2.
You know how I know it was?
It's been 2 years.
It has been 2 years because I was at a different job.
and I remember I watched episode 1 and 2 of Daredevil Season 2 in Julie's hospital room after she had just given birth.
That's right.
So it launched that week that William was born.
I remember that now.
Man, it seems like longer than that.
Well, it's because we've had all these other shows to kind of supplement, and it feels like, wow, I've watched, all these other Defender shows in the interim. Where's Daredevil? Like, is he coming back? Come back, Matt. You coming back, buddy?
We miss you.
Yeah,
we got to say hi in Defenders, and that was great and all, but we miss you.
I wonder.
We kind of did this whole podcast for you, buddy. We need you to come back.
That's okay. We got lots to talk about. I wonder if this will be the last season. I wonder if they might. I don't know why. I just get this kind of feeling like this Netflix Disney deal is like.
I hope not, because then we got to rebrand.
We can always be the Devil's Due. It's okay. Heart on the sleeve, Carl. We'll find stuff to talk about. It's fine. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't know the particulars of the deal though. If it was a limit, like, can they just keep making the shows as long as they want?
They have said, I've seen them say numerous times that the Netflix shows are going to stay on Netflix because, again, films are for the family. Netflix shows are for the adults.
Sure, yeah,
so
kind of.
Maybe they don't want that. Maybe they want to keep the streaming service kind of family friendly.
That would make sense. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't want it to be the end. I just wonder where they're going to go with it. How long can they keep rolling?
None of the shows feel like they could go on for 8 or 9 seasons.
No,
they all seem like there's a finite life to these things.
Definitely, and I think Daredevil more than any of them, especially given the arcs that they're kind of considering all the things that they're throwing at Daredevil in 2 seasons. Kingpin, the Hand, Elektra. Like you've kind of tackled most of the big stuff here.
Yeah.
So
sans Bullseye.
Well, that's the big X factor, man. That's if he doesn't show up in season 3, number 1, I'm going to be disappointed. But number 2, I might be hopeful because that might mean they're going to save him as to be like a big deal in a new season 4.
Yeah.
Potentially. But will he have a costume is the question. I hope so. Because why not?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, give him the suit.
I know, the Marvel, see those DC shows, they are, Robin has that legit outfit.
Yeah.
In the stills that we've seen.
Hawk and Dove.
Marvel.
They've got Hawk and Dove.
Marvel likes to kind of, they don't like to steer too hard into the costume aspect of all these things. Looking at you, Hawkeye. But, come on, Marvel. Let's just...
Looking at you, Hawkeye. Looking at you, Iron Fist.
Well, yeah, nothing at all. Jeez. Not even a tracksuit. I would take the tracksuit. Can't even get that. Can't even get the tracksuit. They're cheap. Get that off the rack at the sporting goods store. You couldn't even get that.
Just go to Dick's.
Just go to the sporting goods store. No. Couldn't do it. Okay. Yeah, Marvel, come on, man. You got all this goodwill with your fans.
Yeah.
Guess what your fans like? They like seeing the costumes.
Yeah. It's just one of those things that you gotta say, this is the world we live in, these are the rules of the world, and
right. Like, I'll tell you right now. When I'm gonna say when, not if, when they get the X-Men back, I want outfits. Like,
yeah.
I don't even want an explanation. They just show up on the scene. They're in costumes. Wolverine specifically.
Yep.
I want costumed Wolverine with the mask, doing stuff. And you don't got to explain it. You don't have to justify it. It's just there, and that's all you got to do. The people will accept it immediately. So, anyway.
Orange and brown Wolverine, though.
Sure, whatever. I don't care.
Not yellow and blue.
I don't care. Either one. I'm fine. Just as long as you get that mask right, I'm golden.
Yep.
But, yeah, so Bullseye. Give him a mask. Give Bullseye the mask. At the very least, the mask.
Or get Mysterio in there.
Well,
no,
we might be pushing credulity there.
And budget.
Then again, on TV, yeah. Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh God,
they could do it there. They could definitely make that work.
Mysterio, and if they did Mysterio in a movie, I would. So many sins of Spider-Man would be forgiven. I wouldn't care about Flash Thompson or the whole Spider-Man driving a car thing, or
seeing as they don't seem to be keen on showing you things that you've seen before in Spider-Man movies. You might get Mysterio.
Oh, Mysterio! My second favorite Spider-Man villain.
They don't seem to be in a hurry to dip back into that Goblin well. They seem to be forging ahead.
They shouldn't.
Yeah.
They should keep the Goblin on the shelf.
For a little while. Some things are kind of inevitable, like at some point.
Yeah, well, yeah. You can dip into that Doc Ock well again, though.
You could.
All-time favorite Spider-Man villain.
He certainly is visual. And we have seen kind of a precedent for the arms in the Iron Spider suit. So you have a built-in Stark-esque origin for it, should they choose to do that.
Yep.
So, anyway, maybe.
All right.
Season 3, Daredevil. Dr. Octopus. No. We're all over the map here.
So many places. All right. Well, Drew, it's been a hot minute since we've had to rustle some papers, but as we said last week, we are going headlong into Jessica Jones Season 2. So that being said, Drew, let us rustle some papers. All right, Drew. Now I watched Season 2 when it came out a couple months back. Actually, 2 months back. Came out in March. So this is a second go around for me.
Okay.
Not unlike The Punisher and Defenders. This is Punisher was your second go around. Defenders was your first go around.
Correct.
So like Defenders, this is your first go around of this.
Yes, sir.
So, episode 1, start at the beginning.
Was good. That's my professional opinion. I actually thought it was
fly ball
caught
better
than I was anticipating. I'll be honest, I haven't really been in a hurry to get to this. Just didn't really capture as much of my imagination. And then the early reviews were kind of mixed on it. That I've heard that it's kind of a slog to get through this show.
I don't feel it is if you go in with the right concept of what the show is, in which it's a detective story.
Okay.
And it's paced accordingly.
All right.
There are some slowdown points, but they're not as egregious as, at least from my first time through, I remember them not being egregious as past Netflix Marvel shows.
Okay, because that was my big gripe with the first season of Jessica Jones was there were points where it just was too slow. It dragged out too long.
Yeah, don't Yeah, just don't go expecting like a superhero.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't necessarily think that about this character.
Yeah, it's a noir detective story.
Okay, well, I can get behind
with
that.
Superpowers.
I can get into that if it holds my attention. And thus far, it does.
Yes.
So, first episode, better than I anticipated. Lots of intrigue, interesting character developments, and a lot of... They kind of set the thematic stuff up. There's a lot of thematic stuff in play up front.
Yeah.
So, what I mean by that is you've kind of got Jess, who is kind of famous now, kind of?
Kind of. She's gone back to what she knows.
Yeah.
Being a PI.
But people kind of know about her now.
Yeah.
And they...
Not only that, know about her, know what she did to Kilgrave.
Right. Which gets kind of tossed in her face a few times in this episode. But she's also kind of running from her past a bit. She wants to bury it, and she just wants to go forward. But then you've got, like, Patsy, Trish. Like Patsy, Trish, whatever.
Yeah.
And she's kind of...
She wants to find out.
She wants to bury the past too, in a way, and she wants to forge ahead. They both do in different ways.
Yeah.
So, like, Trish's past is funny because she was like this child star, which we get to see a glimpse of how that benefits her in certain ways, but also embarrasses her in others. But she now, and she turned that into a talk radio career, but it was, kind of, I don't want to call it fluff pieces, but, celebrity gossip seems to be the train that her producer wants her to take. She wants to get into actual news journalism.
She's a legitimate reporter at heart.
Right. So she wants to go that direction, but she's kind of being told to stick to what she knows and kind of go in this other direction.
Yeah.
And so she has that kind of setup going on. Jess wants to forget about her parents. She wants to forget about her accident. She wants to kind of throw all that shit away. And
I think they both want closure. Jess wants closure by ignorance, and Trish wants closure by confrontation.
Yes. Good point. Yeah. And Jess is kind of a hot mess.
I mean, yeah, she still is.
It's like she learned nothing from the Defenders.
Well, she didn't. There was, I mean, I don't think it's not to say she didn't learn anything. I think it takes a lot for a character like Jess to make like significant life changes. And I don't think like Matt's sacrifice, finger air quotes, in Defenders maybe got her to rethink some things, but ultimately her path is kind of still the same.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. But as we could see when the episode opened, she is back to what she knows, which is snooping on cheaters and whatnot. And getting paid in pizza.
Paid in pizza only because the woman was going to pay her, but then says, hey, wait, what if you kill the guy for me?
Yeah.
And just kind of doesn't take kindly to that because that's not what she does.
Yeah, and this is the first instance of what happened with Kilgrave getting thrown into her face.
Yeah, about that. Yeah. So like, oh, you'll kill this guy in broad daylight or whatever, but you won't kill this guy for me. Like, I mean, kind of got a point.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
But to be fair, that woman has never... She didn't walk through...
She never experienced Kilgrave.
Right.
Yeah.
She has not walked in Jessica's shoes. She has no idea what Jess was going through and why that had to be done. So, but still, point taken, and even Jess kind of mulls it over in the episode, I have killed, I am a killer.
Yeah.
Like...
And you can definitely see how staunchly opposed she is to doing it again.
Yeah, there's a moment where she probably could have killed a certain someone.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name? Chang? The guy who's trying to do a hostile takeover of her
Price
office.
Chang.
Yeah. By the way, Chang, no one to stay down, buddy.
I think he was kind of playing a long game there.
Well, he's lucky that she found her conscience quickly because it was not going well for him.
No.
And I don't think he really knew what she was capable of, to be honest with you. When she said that, like, she kind of what did she say to him? Like, well, he implies like my life's an open book and you know everything about me and I know everything about you. And then she's, and I thought at that point he was going to say like maybe something tied to her origin because we get those little digs in this episode. But no, he had the superficial stuff like, you drink and,
well,
yada, yada.
I think he knew about the powers, but it's one thing to know about powers, it's another thing to experience them.
Yeah. Well, he got a firsthand glimpse.
Got tossed around like a rag doll.
Yes.
Can we talk about the highlight of the episode?
The Wizard?
It may be the deepest cut ever.
Yeah, the Wizard.
The Wizard shows up.
Yeah.
Now, again, not the traditional. The Wizard is a legitimate character in the comics. He's like from the kind of World War II era speedster.
Yeah.
And he actually, if memory serves, now that we were talking about it, he did make an appearance in the Spider-Man animated series.
Really?
Yeah.
I find it brave that they would put a character called the Wizard in a child's cartoon.
This fulfills one of my all-time dreams, Drew.
To see the Wizard?
Not just the Wizard, but to see a fat man with super speed. Because that's just, yes.
Sure.
Give us that.
I like how they tease it too. When he's introduced, it's kind of like, okay, Psycho.
Yeah, that's it. He's got got a yellow hoodie on, throwback to the costume. He's saying Wizard, and because it's in a montage, and you're not, it's there for the deep cut Marvel fans. We'll get it.
This is a deep.
It's I think it's the deepest cut of anything that Marvel has done since 2008.
Quite possibly.
Film and television.
But turns out he does have powers.
Yeah.
He's fast.
Yeah, and I like how the visual representation of his speed. He's not
bad.
He's not like Flash fast.
He's just fast.
Yeah, he is powered fast. You can tell he's got powers, and just like the whole scene is just kind of crazy. And then she chases him outside, and
he insists that someone's trying to kill him. Jess doesn't believe him because she thinks that he's a psychopath because he is on some psychiatric medication.
Heavy
medication. But spoilers. Someone was trying to kill him.
Yep.
And they do.
Yes. By dropping a lot of construction stuff on him.
No, he wasn't that. You know what I liked about him and his speed, actually?
What?
And they never show this in like The Flash or anything like that. At least not anything I've seen. Or any speedster like Quicksilver either. Stuff gets in his way and he has to stop. Like, he's running down the street really fast, and then people are at the corner, and he has to like, crap, I didn't think about them being there. And he has to stop and like walk around, and like he has to deal with obstacles in front of him. Whereas other speedsters in film have kind of been like, there's a straightaway anywhere you gotta go. Don't worry about anything. Your path is clear.
Well, they're also more experienced speedsters.
Sure.
The Wizard is.
Sure. I thought it was clever. I thought it was kind of clever.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
That's interesting. It's a fun little new take on this.
Yeah, but just kind of jumping around here, we also see the introduction of a new character in Oscar, the building's new superintendent.
Yeah.
And he's got a kid, and he meets Jessica in an interesting way because he's moving in, and the refrigerator's blocking the stairs, and he's trying to, move it by himself, and isn't quite having luck, and Jessica just picks it up and moves it. It's interesting how Jessica doesn't want people to know about her per se, but yet isn't afraid to.
Well, when she gets annoyed, which in this case she had somewhere to be, and there was a fridge in her way. That would kind of irk me too. And everyone was being like, kind of slowpoke about moving it. And it's like, guys, hello, I'm right here.
Okay.
All right, you know what?
Right.
Fine. Here. Just get
to move.
Here. Get here.
Yep. And we also get reacquainted with Malcolm.
Yeah, he's doing very well.
Doing very well. He's cleaned up. He is Jessica's assistant who gets fired numerous times.
Yeah.
Yeah, keeps coming back. So yeah, we see a lot of the cast from season 1.
Hogarth is back.
Hogarth goes on an interesting journey in this season. Now, it's something I don't want to spoil anything for you, I just kind of want to prepare you because I noticed, like a lot of things I was waiting for that didn't pan out, her story doesn't intersect with Jessica a lot.
Okay.
She kind of has her own story in this season.
That's kind of weird, but okay.
And I think it's a really interesting story. It does become kind of pertinent to the main plot, but not as big as last season.
It's fair.
So, yeah.
Well, I guess when you get Carrie Ann Moss in your show, you gotta use her.
Yeah. And now that I'm thinking about that, like kind of Jess, Trish, Malcolm, Hogarth, all kind of get a very distinct story for themselves.
Okay.
Jess's, Trish's, and Malcolm's play into the larger story at hand, whereas Hogarth's kind of touches base with it every once in a while, but isn't a huge influence on it.
Interesting. I'll keep an eye out for that, but that's interesting because that seems like if it's not that important, why is it there? Which means maybe it'll pay off later down the road, next season, perhaps. I don't know. I haven't watched this yet, so I have no idea.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Yep.
There's someone else running around, Carl.
Yeah, there's because Wizard was saying someone's trying
to
kill him, and said it was a monster.
Now, am I wrong, or the monster we glimpse briefly, maybe, in the end of the episode when Jess does end up finding a secret place.
IGH. She finds
IGH, yeah.
The the
International Garment
Industrial Garments and Handling.
Yes, that's right. She finds the lab, as it were, abandoned, of course, but evidence of people being kept there and experiments being done.
She's having flashbacks.
And she remembers,
Yep.
right. And we get that quick glimpse of a monster of some type.
A disfigured person.
Yes, correct. So is that perhaps the monster that killed the wizard? I guess we'll find out.
We will find out.
Also, did I see Nuke for a hot second there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll say yes because they clearly show his face.
He was spying on Trish.
Yes.
At the gala ball.
Gala ball.
And apparently, her boyfriend, is he her boyfriend? Griff? Is he? Their thing? Okay. Yeah. He's kind of a shallow jerk, a little bit. Nice guy, but kind of shallow. He kind of tells her, if you want to be in news, then news is your friend, not your friend. And I thought that was kind of dude, that's kind of cynical.
I didn't take it that way. I think he's kind of setting parameters for their relationship. He's like, well, no, we are us. But work is work. Never the twain shall meet.
Well, when she says to him, I don't want to hurt my friend, being Jess.
Yeah.
And he says, in this business, news is your friend. And I was like, well, gee, man, way to have morals about affecting people's lives with your job.
I think if you're going to be a news reporter, like a legit news reporter, you're going to have to make some personal sacrifices.
That's fine, but it was a little cynical, but that's okay. He seems to be very scared of her walking into a revolving door. It's like, dude, that's what you do. You walk into it.
I think it was not so much the revolving door as it was the press outside.
Okay. I guess I misread that scene, but it seemed like they had the sound of the door amplified, and he was like, hey, be careful. It's like, dude, it's a door.
Well, maybe at the moment she was... I mean, I get what you're saying, but maybe at the moment she was approaching it, when the doors were coming, it was going to hit her. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that was what they were going after. I thought it was kind of fun, though. Dude.
It's do you need help with this? It's a revolving door. That kid is back on the escalator.
It's like Crocodile Dundee with the revolving door. Wasn't he scared to go into it?
I don't remember.
Sorry, I'm deep cutting Crocodile Dundee. Anyway, solid first episode of Jessica Jones.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
That's really all I got.
Yeah, it's a lot of setup and whatnot. Just looking over my notes here. Yeah.
Cool.
Hogarth gets clearly some bad news at the doctor's.
Yeah. It doesn't seem good. Guess we'll see more about that.
Yeah, it's not what I thought it was going to be when I first watched it.
I mean, the obvious implication to any doctor thing like that is like, oh, she has cancer. So it's probably not that, based on what you're saying?
It's not that, but it's not like something fantastical.
Okay, that's fair.
It's something like still bad news,
but
it's something like real.
Okay, cool.
All right.
It's funny about the that Crocodile Dundee deep cut. I don't know why my mind went there, but I think it's because I'm sort of in a nostalgic mode right now, Carl, because I also watched, more importantly, I watched the first 2 episodes of Cobra Kai this week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Spoilers. We're changing the name of the show. We are now the Cobra Kai podcast.
We are now Cobra Kai Never Die.
Yep. Yes! Dude, I want to do a show. We're going to do an episode on Cobra Kai because I'm all in on this.
So you're telling me I have to get YouTube Red as well?
You can get a free trial for free. You can get a 4-month trial for free.
Oh.
So I would tell you to
or
do
I could
this.
just come over and we could just binge it.
Whatever. Either way.
It's getting to season 2.
I'm doing it because the first 2 episodes were made for me.
Yep.
This was like direct. Wow.
And I will simply point out that story-wise anyway, we would not have Cobra Kai if not for Iron Eagle.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that aged about as well as the X-Men animated series, Carl.
No, it aged much, much better.
Okay.
Much, much better.
Okay. All right. Anyway.
All right, folks. I think that about does it for us here. We appreciate you joining us again, as always. If you like, you can send in questions, comments to the show. You can find us on Twitter at Devils Do Pod. You can go to facebook.com/Devils Do Pod. You can email us at thedevilsdopod@gmail.com, or you can find all these resources available to you on our website, thedevilsdopodcast.com. Folks, our 100th episode is rapidly approaching.
It'll be here.
It'll be
soon.
here during the summer. Stay tuned for some fun stuff, or potentially nothing, because
Wow, that's a big wow.
Hashtag show prep.
That's wow. All right. Look out, or don't,
or don't.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us.